Good morning. Good. Oops. The music is not turned off. Let's see. How do we turn this music? Oh, okay. So when you try to get too fancy with intro music, I think it's called bumper music. But let me turn this up. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome back to another Coffee with Angel. It's officially football season. The NFL has started. College football is in full swing. So I'm a huge football fan. So I am entering the season with cautious optimism. I have my Saints shirt on this morning. Yes, we did win last week, but it's still very early. And if you know a Saints fan, you just know that's how we live our life. We're cautiously optimistic. And I'm going to I root for the Saints. Obviously, I am from New Orleans. That is, in fact, the brand name inspiration. If you didn't know, Maison 276 is inspired by my New Orleans roots. Maison, as obviously French for house, and 276 is the street address of the house where I grew up. And so that's how I landed on a name for the brand. Um, and so, Coffee with Angel, if you're new, this is my fourth episode. So, thanks so much for all of the returning viewers and for those who watch it afterwards because it's uploaded on my YouTube channel. So, Coffee with Angel is an opportunity for me to connect with you over a quick cup of coffee. You can tell I have not had a sip yet. And discuss usually some frequently asked questions or other topics relative to silver hair. If you don't know, I'm the founder of Maison 276 and creator of the innovative three-step system for silver and gray hair that's designed to brighten, cleanse, and rejuvenate the natural brilliance of your silver hair without purple dyes. I've had silver hair my whole life. My mother discovered my first silver strand when I was a little girl. And she was combing my hair. So for 40 years, all of my adult life, I used products that simply didn't work, which were the purple shampoos. And so I created initially solving my own pain point, a solution to my lifelong problem. And that was how to keep my silver hair beautiful, brilliant, and bright without purple dyes. Okay, good morning. Good morning, Deborah. Thank you so much for joining me again on another Coffee with Angel. And I realized something last week was that the Facebook comments drop into the feed, but the Instagram comments don't. So if you were watching me on Instagram and I didn't see your comment or didn't give you a shout out, I didn't realize that the feed wasn't pulling into StreamYard, which is the platform that I use. So from time to time, I'm going to flip over um, to Instagram to see who's on, just so I'm not missing you. So, perfect example. Good morning, sister girl. Good morning, Kim. Kim is my cousin from New Orleans. I love you. So I'm going to be hopping back and forth because now I know I need to go switch over to Instagram to make sure I'm seeing everyone. So today's topic is about the silver transformation. And I got this idea because, as I told you guys, I read all of the comments and reply to them. It might not be the same day, but ultimately I am going to reply to a comment that you leave or a DM. And so earlier this week, on YouTube, someone commented after watching a video that they were going to try for the third time to embrace their silver hair. And I just thought, wow, 3 times, like what's been the obstacle for her? Because clearly it's something that she's wanted to do, but then somewhere along the way she got deterred and she stopped that process. And I always say it's, I feel like it's an embracing of the silver hair, more than a transformation, because the silver hair is there, right? You've probably been covering it with dyes and tints, so it's already there. You're not actually transforming it, you're more embracing it. And so I thought about over the years of my journey as the founder of Maison 276, what have been some of the challenges that I found that people face when it comes to embracing their silver. And I've been very transparent in terms of, in my mid 30s, which was quite some time ago, I colored my hair for a short period of time and immediately realized it was a mistake. And, what was the thing that made me, for a short period of time, stop embracing my authentic self? And it was the opinion of other people. And sometimes those are people who love you and are very well meaning, but and so one of the comments and one of the struggles that I know many women face, it is when they decide to embrace their silver journey, they get pushback from a lot of people. Some are people in their lives, some are strangers, like people just giving unsolicited comments on social media. Sometimes it's family members who think they are well meaning by saying things like, oh, it'll make you look old, or, why would you want to do that? And sometimes those people are really projecting their own insecurities onto you, unknowingly. And so I would say one of the biggest hurdles and struggles for embracing your gray and your silver hair is the opinions of others. And that, to me, is the biggest challenge for many people. So I would say the first step is that you have to release that and realize opinions are just like noses. Everybody's got one, but that's not your business and that's not your concern. And so releasing the weight of other people's opinion is going to be the very first step of successfully embracing your silver journey. Now, the flip side of that is there are literally millions of people out here to support you within the Maison 276 community and beyond that will support you in your silver journey. Because what that means is that, you are ready to embrace what is authentically you. And if that simply means the act of letting the hair that naturally grows out of your head, you're okay with that, then what other people think, sis, it really does not matter. And that is liberating on so many so in so many ways, right? That once you release yourself of that, it is a type of liberation that frees you to do a lot of other things in your life. And that's why I very strongly believe that embracing your silver hair, embracing your gray, is about so much more than your hair. It is really the freedom to be and do, frankly, whatever you want to be and do, because you have earned that as an adult, particularly as a middle aged woman. And so that, I believe, is the very, very first step. So I'm going to hop on over to Instagram, make sure. Good morning, good morning, good morning, sophisticated lady 281, which means she's probably somewhere in the Houston area. So thank you so much for joining me. And Bluebly, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but if I didn't, it's all in love. iPod lover, thank you so much. I appreciate you. D1 Noob. Oh, hello, Dwayne. I actually know who that is. That's one of my classmates from the University of Houston, way, 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 way back. Okay, so first obstacle, releasing yourself of the weight of other people's opinion. I would say the second obstacle or the second hurdle or struggle for people who are embracing their silver hair is there are two things that you're going to be learning, and you're going to be learning how to take care of this new version of your hair, right? Because if you've been coloring it, that tint may have somewhat altered the texture of your hair. If you've been relaxing your hair, or if you've previously had a perm, a perm is to give, for some people, is to give your hair curl. For other people, a relaxer, a perm, is to take the curl and texture out. Okay. But either way, once you decide to embrace the natural version of your hair, sometimes there's a learning curve to figure out, okay, exactly what does this new version of my hair need? So I would say give yourself patience as you figure that out. I know when I went, so I've always, for the most part, had silver hair, but when I stopped relaxing my hair, it was a huge learning curve for me to figure out what this hair needed as compared to what the relaxed hair needed, because that was a completely different texture. And so give yourself patience as you figure out what your silver hair needs. I'm going to tell you it needs a lot of conditioning. Needs a lot of moisture. It needs products that lock the moisture in, because silver hair is inherently drier than your melanated hair. And so give yourself patience to figure out exactly what you need. And patience goes hand in hand with grace. I think women, we readily extend grace to other people, but we do not extend that type of grace to ourselves. And I think that's a learned behavior, how to extend yourself grace. And so I would say the patience and the grace go hand in hand. Patience in terms of figuring out what you need to do to take care of your silver hair. Patience in terms of letting the process work for you. Like, you gotta let it grow out. It's just, there are no shortcuts unless you just want to cut all your hair off. And I actually, how you embrace your own silver journey is very individual. Some people do the big chop and they start all over. But for many people who have long hair and they've had long hair all their life, I'm not going to tell you to just cut all your hair off. I do think it's okay to just grow it out. And again, there are so many women who are going through that journey with you, or women who have already gone through that journey to support you. So, a lot of people don't like the line of demarcation, but some people embrace that demarcation, but because for them, it's an act of freedom. It's almost an act of rebellion, in that, I am rebelling everything that the world says how I should feel about my silver hair. I reject, and I am rebelling against that. And for many women, that demarcation is their sign of, this is my season, and I'm doing what the fill in the blank, whatever word you want to use, I want with my hair. And so that's what I would recommend. Like, that's what I would say. It was kind of like when I decided for that short period of time that I didn't want to color my hair. I did do a big chop, but I was also wearing my hair short. So it wasn't as dramatic. It was already kind of short. So I would say, embrace it in a rebellious way. That's just my personality. But the line of demarcation, that grow out stage, I think once you kind of get used to it, you'll start to embrace it, and just embrace that freedom that it gives you. And then also, I always say, there are so many women on social media who are chronicling their grow out stage, right? Back when I did it, Instagram, social media didn't even exist, and I don't even have pictures of that. But right now, there are so many people that chronicle their transformation, and I always point people to Trey's Going Gray. She will always post some throwback pictures of her transition. Yogo's Gray also has a lot of pictures of her transformation. Great Days Ahead. Michelle, if you look through her feed, she has pictures of her growing out her silver. And I point out these three ladies in particular because they have long hair. And so, I appreciate them sharing the journey of growing out the hair and looking at it and letting other people see, like, oh, this is actually beautiful. It's actually almost, if you think about the caterpillar, even though they were not caterpillars when they were coloring their hair, but if you think about, the caterpillar to the butterfly phase, I really feel like that's what women are doing when they actually go through that transformation of, just letting that dye grow out slowly but surely. Let it grow out, and you're also trimming, along the way. So as you get new growth, you're trimming the old growth, and so you can still keep your beautiful, luscious, long locks. You don't have to do the big chop if you don't want to. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning. Just found your page about 25 minutes ago. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'm glad that you are finding the information helpful. Michelle, if you have any questions, if there are any topics you'd like me to cover, if not today, in future Coffee with Angels, just please drop them in the comments, because my goal here is to not only connect with you, but to give you information that is useful in your silver journey. I'm going to hop on over to Instagram. Good morning, the Tracy Renee. Thank you for joining me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. The Life of Babe. I love that. I love that name. I'm going to check out your profile. Alexandra, good morning, Alexandra. Um, Now I know how the Peloton instructors feel when they're trying to do shout outs. I'm a big Peloton fanatic, you might say. And when they're trying to do shout outs on the leaderboard and they come across a name and they're like, they want to do the shout out, but they don't want to butcher the name. So I apologize in advance. Good morning, Joyce Sliders. Am I saying it right? I think I am. Okay. If not, it's all in love. It's all in love. Cynthia, good morning, Cynthia. Good morning. Good morning. Cynthia Latham is one of our original Maison 276 brand ambassadors. I just got to give her a shout out. When I first started the brand a few years ago, she trusted her beautiful silver hair to me, and I am forever grateful to those early adopters. So I appreciate you so much. Good morning, Cynthia. So I was talking about the transformation process and following other silveristas who have chronicled their transition process. I think that it can be so helpful. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Angela. Thanks for joining me over on Facebook. Excuse me, over on Facebook. I gotta take a sip of coffee, y'all. Okay. So this cup, it's got to be. Sometimes I just want to feel like the queen bee, when I'm not feeling. Sometimes I have props for when I'm, not having an awesome day. Then I'll wear a t-shirt. I like message t-shirts. I'll wear a t-shirt that, says, I'm awesome. Or I'll get a coffee cup that makes me feel good. Nobody has 100% great days, but I do think a life hack is when you're not having an awesome day, or you have something that's weighing you down, have some props, or some tools, some tips, some tricks that you can use to inspire yourself. So, for me, it's my message t-shirts, or I might have a cool coffee mug, or I might have like some quote that I've filed away and I'll pull that up, and that's my screensaver for the day. Sometimes we got to inspire ourselves and encourage ourselves. And if you are an entrepreneur, you know that there are a lot of days that you just need to encourage yourself, because it's tough out here in these entrepreneurial streets. So I am so, so grateful to the Maison 276 community. You know, sometimes people will send me an email and they might not think it's a big deal, but it'll be an email of encouragement, or somebody will send me something encouraging in the DMs. And I just want you to know, like, you have no idea how important that is, not just to me, but to any entrepreneur you might know, or to anybody who's done like a midlife pivot, or just, you just never know. So I would say, whenever, I know this is totally off topic, right? But I would say, whenever, you are led to just drop somebody an inspirational note, that probably means they need it. So I literally have an email file of every inspirational note anybody has ever sent me. And that file is like 3 years old. Actually, it's 4 years old. And I go back from time to time and I will read those emails, because inevitably I got that email at a day on a time when I really needed it. So if you're ever led to do that for whatever reason, do it, because that person probably needs to hear it. Good morning, Lorraine. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. So I'm going to quickly recap. Also, I want to let you guys know, if you just jumped in, today's topic is the silver transformation. That is really far more than your hair. It's more than about hair. It's about so many other things, and the amount of freedom that you feel once you decide to embrace your silver journey, and that feeling of empowerment and freedom spills over in so many other ways of your life. Like, I was never even trying to be an entrepreneur. And if you had told me, like, 10 years ago, I would be where I am now, because I have silver hair and I've embraced my silver hair all of my life, like, I would never have been able to connect the dots to figure, like, I don't know how my hair is going to get me from this point to that point, like the hair that's literally been growing out of my head since I was a little girl. But you never know. You never know. And so I think that's why when women embrace their silver hair, especially if you've been covering it up for a lot, you hear all these stories of, they started a new career, or, they made some other major midlife pivot. And it's because that freedom that comes with embracing that one part of you, your silver or gray hair, it really does spill over into so many aspects of your life, and you feel empowered to do so many more things. So I don't find that surprising at all, because it kind of mirrors, my own journey. Good morning, Mary from Maryland. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. So if you're just joining us, I just want you to know that all the Coffee with Angels are uploaded to my YouTube channel the following Saturday morning. So tomorrow morning, it'll be uploaded to my YouTube channel. And the key points that we discussed was the journey of transitioning to your silver hair. What's required? You need to you need to release yourself of the opinions of other people, because that is what holds a lot of people back, because a lot of people project their own insecurities, right, onto you by saying, oh, that's going to make you look old. And if you have silver hair and we're the same age, what's that going to say about me? Honey, sister, wash your hands of other people's opinions. Strangers and loved ones, wash your hands of other people's opinion about the hair that's growing out of your head, okay? Also, give yourself patience. Patience as you learn how to take care of this silver hair. It is different. It's not the same as your melanated hair, whether you've been coloring it or whether you're just letting the silver grow out. One of my mantras is, silver hair is not difficult, it's different. And you just have to learn how to take care of your silver hair. And a lot of the videos that I've been posting on my YouTube channel really talk about all those different aspects of silver hair, so we can get rid of this myth that silver hair is difficult. It's not. It's just different. So give yourself patience and give yourself grace as you are learning to take care of your silver hair. And not just honestly your hair. I think again, women, sisters, we need to start learning how to give ourselves grace, the grace that we extend to so many other people, right? We need to learn how to give ourselves grace. So, I always say coffee with Angel is just the amount of time that it takes you to finish your first morning cup of coffee. I know we got things to do, business to take care of, people to see, empires to build. And so I don't want to keep you long. Good morning, Margie, Lady Coogie. I hope I said that right. I already asked for grace if I said your name wrong, but I love to give the shout outs. Good morning, Sandra, as well. Michelle. I'm looking forward to finding more tips for flat ironing. Ooh, I don't want the yellowing. I go back and forth with a flat iron wash and go. That's interesting. So, we talked about the yellowing. It's just a function of having colorless hair, Michelle, right? So I always say, imagine if you had one white shirt, a one white dress you had to wear every day, just one for a variety of reasons. No matter how much you washed it, it would get dull. And that's what it's like to have silver and blonde hair. Silvers and blondes are hair sisters. We have the same hair concerns. And so there are a lot of reasons. There's, the sun. The sun will burn our hair, y'all, because our hair gets sunburned because it doesn't have melanin. So the sun will burn our hair. Using the wrong products, because we have colorless hair, any product that we use that has color is going to bond to our hair, which is why purple shampoos are terrible. They're terrible. And why the three-step system for silver and blonde hair doesn't have purple shampoos. All of the products in the Maison 276 system are white because for 40 years I used the purple shampoos and they're horrible because they give you old lady blue hair. And even if you're a blonde, you can still get those purple tones. So that's the whole thesis of why I created the three-step system. So you got to stay away from products that have color, okay? The other thing you mentioned is the flat iron. We really have to be careful about styling tools. And 9 times out of 10, you cannot use the manufacturer's recommendations for the heat settings, especially if you have wavy or curly hair, right? Because you need the high heat to go from wavy, curly to straight. But what you're going to wind up with is very straight yellow hair. So use the lowest possible setting when you're trying to flat iron. Because if you go to those high settings, you're going to get the yellowing. And I have, frankly, resolved myself that I'm just not going to have bone straight hair because I don't want it to be bone straight and yellow. But you also need to make sure you use a heat protectant, right? So whether it's with a blow dryer, a curling iron, or a flat iron, we have to use a heat protectant because that is going to help. That's going to help eliminate some of the yellowing, but you still got to turn those temperatures down. So lower temperatures and heat protectants to help keep your hair from turning yellow when you use those heated styling tools. But it is a challenge. Yeah, I get heat once a month. I mean, you got to figure out, that's what I talked about. Like, you got to figure out what works for you. Some people use the flat iron and they don't have any issues, but it could be because they don't need the higher temperature settings. Or can be because they don't have as much white hair. Like I have a lot of white hair. If you have salt and pepper, like if you've got more pepper than salt, then you may not have that struggle with the yellowing because you have more black hair than white. But you still need the heat protectant no matter how much, no matter what your ratio is of silver, of salt to pepper, silver to black. we all need the heat protectants, right? And I also recommend, like, if you're someone who spends a lot of time out in the sun, if you live in an environment where it's hot all the time, I live on the Gulf Coast, Florida, any California, you still need a heat protectant on your hair when you go out. Because you need to protect your hair from the sun, and we don't want to wear a hat and a scarf all the time. So yeah, okay, you guys, that's it for today's Coffee with Angel. I'm going to hop on over to Instagram, see if I need to do some more shout outs. Hello, May Reed, Andre, Rajan, I'm not sure, Charles, Phil, Rob. Thank you guys for joining me on Coffee with Angel. Don't forget to drop some comments, or oops, what happened? Or for any questions you have. If you're just joining, the entire Coffee with Angel will be posted live on YouTube tomorrow morning. So have a great football weekend. Go Saints, beat the Cowboys. Go Cougs, beat Rice. That's my University of Houston Cougars. And I'm from New Orleans, so I'm always rooting for the LSU Tigers. So those are my three teams. We'll see what happens this weekend, but it's going to be a lot of football. Have a great weekend, y'all. I'll see you next Friday. Bye.